Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our 2013 preseason All-Pac-12 team. So let's start this video off by naming the starting quarterback on our list.
Quarterback Marcus Mariota, while extremely athletic and does a lot of damage on the ground, he's a very good passer that consistently makes good decisions with the football. Even without Chip Kelly this year, Mariota still has the talent to build on a sensational redshirt freshman campaign where he threw for 32 touchdowns to only 6 interceptions. Arizona's Kadeem Carey was the nation's leading rusher last year, who nearly came close to 2,000 yards, and now being the main cog on their offensive attack this year, he could easily surpass that number this season. DeAnthony Thomas, aka the Black Mamba, is not just an outstanding running back, but could easily be one of the best wide receivers and returners in the country if he chose to do that as a permanent position. He's quite honestly the best pure football player in college football. Brandon Cooks was a second-team All-Pac-12 performer last season, a big play waiting to happen, who averaged over 17 yards a catch. With over 115 receptions, 1,700 yards receiving, and 14 touchdowns, there should be no question on Marquise Lee's place on this list. An athletic, new-age type of tight end, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, is a legit NFL prospect that could go over 1,000 yards this season for the Huskies. Outstanding as a freshman last season, left tackle Tyler Johnstone out of Oregon racked up first-team All-Pac-12 and first-team freshman All-American honors. Next in line of great Cardinal offensive linemen that are fine NFL prospects, David Yankee was a first-team All-American last season and has his eyes set on an Outland Trophy. Quite honestly, the most integral part of the Ducks offense, center Hronis Grasu, does a great job of creating creases in the running game and providing protection in the passing game. One of the best guards in the country, UCLA's Xavier Suafilo, as a sophomore, was named an All-American. A quiet leader on the Cardinal offensive line, right tackle Cameron Fleming aids in anchoring a strong running game. Last year, Marion Grice rushed for over 650 yards, 11 touchdowns at 6.6 yards a carry while splitting carries, and also caught 41 passes for 425 yards at 10 yards a reception and 8 touchdowns, making him one of the most versatile and dangerous players in the country with the ball in his hands. An underrated stud on a very talented Bruins defense, Cassius Moss shows tremendous pass rushing skill from the 5 technique position. Throughout his Sun Devil career, defensive tackle Will Sutton has always been a tough player. He stayed fully healthy last year and put up some monster numbers with 63 tackles, 13 sacks, and 10.5 TFLs. DeAndre Coleman is as solid of a defensive tackle as they come. At 6'5", 320 pounds, Coleman is consistently causing havoc in the running game. Scott Crichton led the Beavers in sacks last season with 9 and shows the athleticism to be utilized in a variety of ways on that Oregon State defense. A big and imposing figure on the Stanford defense, 6'6", 265-pound outside linebacker Trent Murphy was an All-American last season after posting 10 sacks and 8 TFLs. A pass-rushing terror who's still learning the position, which is scary for opposing Pac-12 offenses. With 13.5 sacks last season, Anthony Barr could be a top 15 pick in the NFL draft next year. It seems like Shane Scoff has been at Stanford for 15 years, but better believe he's been a very good player each and every year for the Cardinal defense. An active cornerback, you look at Ifo Ekpere-Alomo, had 16 pass breakups and 4 interceptions last season for the Ducks and has already proved himself to be one of the best defensive backs in the nation. Alex Carter out of Stanford really held his own as a true freshman last season, and the sky's the limit for the 6', 205-pound sophomore. An athletic and versatile defender, Dion Bailey out of USC played some linebacker last year, but it's his instincts that makes him a special player and a starter on our preseason All-Pac-12 team. After an All-American sophomore campaign, free safety Ed Reynolds out of Stanford is looking to have a stellar junior season in which he can find himself in the thick of the Jim Thorpe race as the nation's top defensive back. Kicker Trevor Romaine had an outstanding year for the Oregon State Beavers last season, went 16 out of 18 on his field goal attempts, including 5 out of 6 between 40 and 49 yards, and also hit on 51 of 54 extra points. Darrell O'Neal is a defensive weapon for the Colorado Buffaloes. You look at last year, he averaged over 43.5 yards a punt, and 25 of his 76 punts landed inside the 20. DeAndre Caldwell out of Washington State enters this season as the starting running back, but last year as the backup, he was the starting kickoff returner in which he ran for over 650 yards and averaged 25 yards per return. Let's take a look at our second team offensive preseason All-Pac-12 squad. Some really good young players on this list. You have to love what the Pac-12 is bringing to the table this season. Quarterback Brett Huntley is a guy that could put up some Cam Newton-like numbers. You also look at Paul Richardson out of Colorado, another guy that could be a big playmaker for the Buffaloes. And there's some pretty good offensive linemen with Daniel Munyer out of Colorado and Jake Brendel out of UCLA. And Josh Huff, keep an eye on him. Very versatile playmaker for the Ducks, can be utilized in many different facets of their offense. Now let's move over to the defensive preseason All-Pac-12 second team. You look at some outstanding players there. Shaq Thompson had a sensational freshman year for the Washington Huskies. You also look in the secondary. Jonathan McKnight for Arizona. Very good corner despite his size. He's a very good playmaker, and I'm a big fan of Jordan Richardson out of Stanford, another guy that could push for All-American honors once again this season.